Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 from the Dreamhack Last Chance Qualifier. Now, I don't think either of these players is underqualified, but first let me introduce. In the top left of Berlingrad, the Frenchman, giving Amaru a run for his copious amount of money. The best Terran outside of Korea. We'll see if he can prove within it as well. Anyways, it is Clem. But a challenger, even younger. No one has seen his face, which has created some pretty intense speculation lately. But the Danish player, even younger than Clem, making me feel extra old. I believe he's 16, maybe 17 now. And taking the Terrans, the Zergs, and the Protoss sometimes by storm. Of course, MaxPax. So this is how we're starting. Clem with a macro Rex here. A hidden Rex supposed to induce panic in this probe. Probe's well known for inducing panic in whoever sees them. Sometimes the Protoss players who sent them out themselves. But what Clem is showing right now, this is a proxy Rex. How do you like it? MaxPax first coming to notoriety. I think that is the right term here. Notoriety by... Oh, the probe saw that, right? By doing his MaxPax build, so unique, he gets a patent on it, which is essentially just building a gateway outside their base instead of in yours, which sounds very simple, but he proved you could get away with not having any defensive buildings in your base and just recalling units. I'm giving him a little bit of taste of that proxy action. He's just getting MaxPax to freak out right now. And he does. You know what? A Zealot, now chrono boosting a Stalker. He's afraid of even maybe a Marauder pressure. But he is taking the expansion as well. Because, of course, there's not that much that can be coming out of a Terran. And now, he knows. He knows. He's been fooled. He's been hoodwinked and quite possibly bamboozled. As right now, that barracks tells the story of where this Reaper came from. The probe looks on, and he realizes what happened based on the time the Reaper came in as well. It gets a kill, because it's a Clem Reaper, and of course it does. But otherwise, MaxPax not too much worse for the wear. Command center in the main. Understanding that multiple gateway units... Oh, he finds the Zealot. Gonna eat some shield damage until the Stalker... Stop bullying him! He doesn't have any range! Which seems like a bit of a design oversight. Reaper comes back in. A Stalker. Will he try to dive in and get any info on the tech? He did not see the Twilight before. Coming up the ramp, a Widow Mine. Oh, MaxPax in the split second. The line of death. He managed to see it in time. You only have a fraction of a second to react. But MaxPax on the ball. And he spots the medevac, gets half HP, more than half. Stalker gets about the MaxPax amount of shots. Oh my. Another Stalker is headed out. Clem has to know this. Yeah, when these two get together, especially the younger players. Oh god, the amount of micro is ridiculous. Oh, the Stalkers. Well, this is not going so great. Clem gets 2 out of 3 Widow Mines out. But they're working every unit for everything it's worth, and then some. One Stalker goes down. Widow Mine on the other side. Reaper in the main, gonna end up being the real action here. The Reaper may end up getting more kills than the Widow Mines. He gets a second probe, totaling 3. Widow Mine moves a little closer. Wait, does he have an armory? Of course he does. An armory mine play. And that actually counters a bit what MaxPax was up to. He's got a later robotics facility. He's got Blink. But he's going to have to stay at home, at least for now, because the threat of another medevac dropping those Widow Mines, yeah, the first drop was shut down, and MaxPax honestly got a little lucky. Of course, 90% of luck here is preparation, and he had the Stalker in the right place at the right time. But the fact he did so much damage with that initial Stalker is not something you can expect to do again. And you kind of have to just sit in your base. You're pinned back once you realize it's those Armory Widow Mines, at least until you can get a couple observers out. Clem on the other side, building up his bio armor. He's got a Raven, which, the Swiss Army knife at Terran, whatever you need it for. You gotta be careful. It could be just as likely to... Oh my god! Oh. Clem shoots the rocks right out from under the very uncomfortable siege tank. Wow. Well, you don't want them getting in the way in case you need it. The Observer, not spotted by the Raven. 4 Stalkers in the main, just enough to snipe SCVs. MaxPax, the Stalker strike team. Now, Clem trying to box out. Auto turret. Link over the top, but that means he can't blink out. And Clem comes in with the rest of the Marines. These Stalkers being stalked themselves. Now MaxPax just giving him the runaround all the way behind the mineral line. It keeps going. The Stalker's still alive. You're gonna see a lot of this with these two. Oh my god, he blinked to the low ground. I guess he got the full tour there. He saw the whole base. Not that... Like, Terrans have been doing the same thing essentially since 2010. Can you believe that he is going for Marines, Marauders, with Stim Combat Shield, and maybe a double medevac push? Oh my god. What year is it? It doesn't really matter, because right now on the other side, MaxPax choosing a classic strategy of his own. He's got a third base, but investing in extended thermal lance Colossi and charge lots. They're not done yet, though. There will be a Colossus. And the Raven is still intact, though it did use some energy to deal with those Stalkers. Well, he looks like he's going to use the auto turrets to whittle down the probe count, so there won't be enough energy for an interference matrix on the Colossus. But here comes MaxPax. Colossus getting some good swipes on the Marines. Tank shelling the Immortal at the front. The Stalker's actually pushing it into a real uncomfortable position. The Immortal's always getting bullied ever since they got that big turret strapped on top of their little Dragoon body. Meanwhile, in the main, a Viking on deck. The Viking has 5. It only takes 2 hits to kill a probe. The mineral line, once again, Clem comes in with the least suspicious... The unit you would say, on paper, should do the least damage. Clem, that's what he uses to do the most, because if it was just the Raven and just the army, no damage really would have been done. Oh, this is awkward. But the Viking comes in and gets some probe kills, and now Clem actually has a slight worker advantage. He's gonna try to work that for even more. A drop in the main. He's just going straight for the Robo, tanking the Colossus hits. Wastes a lot of time on the Robo if he's not actually gonna try to kill it. Well, gets a couple Stalkers and gets out while he still can. Single Stalker. These players so active with each bit of they're scouting, they're face-checking things with their units, but still managing to get away. There is... Oh my god, is he going to do the thing? There's a Widow Mine in the main. Oh, the Observer comes back. Oh. At the last possible second. Clem looking for another opportunity to dart in. Observer spots Clem landing his third, and that is a third. He didn't float the main. Does he have barracks 4 and 5? Yes, he does, at the natural. Slapping on a reactor and a tech lab. More Marines and Marauders. The Raven is pinned back behind the third, or at least close to it. A Widow Mine. Dun 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 dun. MaxPax notices first. He'll still lose a probe. And Clem is starting to grind out a significant supply advantage, and this is what can happen if you don't get your strong units out in high enough number. You're just going to be on defense almost constantly, and Clem, it does not take much for him to get the damage done. Auto turret targets the Observer, and now the Widow Mine going to take another Observer to take down. Just the amount of little details starting to add up. And this equation is looking more and more grim here. Clem darts into the main. He scanned, looking for observers. None to be seen, and none to see him. Field battery overcharge. Can easily target that down as well. Widow Mine still intact at the third. Bio Army at the corner. Tank shelling from the low ground. Colossi finally make it to the party. Oh, the Blake Stalkers! They could go down to the low ground, but don't want to risk it. The tank taken out. And Clem, for now, rebuffed. But not beaten. He's driven away from the base, but at what cost? 3 ghosts on the way. It's going to take nearing a miracle for MaxPax to turn this around. Especially since it's only Colossi in terms of splash damage. He doesn't have Templar, not that it would help very much against the impending Ghost. In fact, I think Clem thinks that MaxPax wants Templar. Thus, he's going for the Ghost. The Ghost, always good, but not necessarily the ideal choice against mass Colossi or Disruptors. But of course, since everything has shields, you can't go wrong with EMP. If you can get the Ghosts out in a timely manner, why not? He's also building Vikings and a second starport. Clem has almost every advantage here. The only thing MaxPax has going for him are his actual units. He's got multiple... He's got, what, 3 Colossi now? 3 Colossi. Oh, no, he's trapped the dog as well in the middle of the map. Oh, my God, MaxPax! Oh. So, and it fills him with determination. I can't... He blinked right at... Oh, my. Well. Bitches be crazy. The Viking count. A very Heart of the Swarm-esque. Wow. This is... We saw Zest. But now, MaxPax going for Disruptor. It looks like Carrier. Are you going to take out a small loan of 1,000,000 minerals to afford that? I have no idea how he... I mean, he needs something. The Disruptors are the kicker that he maybe could use. But I have no idea how he plans to afford any fleet beacon units on 3 bases while under constant pressure from Clem here. Multiple Ghosts. Disruptors on the field. The scan spots him. EMP across the bow. Disruptor finds a chunk, but not a meaty enough one. Stalker's trying to trade and doing it poorly. Another shot coming out. Clem easily dodges away. And MaxPax on the ropes. He's got to pick a fight. Clem not willing to commit here into the natural. One bad Disruptor hit could turn the whole game around. MaxPax just going Carrier Ruptor. I guess it does call for significant gambles. He needs to go huge right now. Going big, not big enough. Huge. With like 4 U's. Because Clem is maxed out with all the units he needs to beat your standard army. So MaxPax has to go for literally broke here. Couple Disruptors. He's got 2 more. He's got to hold on to him. If he ever runs out of Disruptor shots, Clem will pounce and he will kill. Snipe comes out. I think he sniped a Zealot, which was definitely not worth the Ghost. Carriers are finishing. MaxPax constantly supply block, desperate to get a 4th. Clem just waiting for him to make a tiny mistake. A single Disruptor clips a Marauder. There goes the Nexus. Clem spots it. Constant scans. Doesn't need the mules. Fusion core on the way. Liberator range probably on the horizon. There's a lot of Ruptors here. No Liberators at all with this army. And that is the more typical counter to this mass Disruptor style. Despite everything, MaxPax is not dead. He's held on. He's got a bunch of danger balls here. We'll have to see what he does with them. It is still a good volley of Ruptors could really undercut Clem's efforts. He's got a lot of fragile units on the ground here. But the Vikings themselves, he's got 15! And EMPs means those carriers are easy pickings. Yeah, the Stalkers off to the side actually protect one of the carriers. Another shot. Clem is dividing his army. He darts into the main. This is a bit of a risky play, because this could all go horribly wrong if MaxPax is on top of the Disruptor boss. But Clem coming in from the right flank as well. Looking for the high ground. Vikings microing back. Carriers darting into the main army. in the main. The secondary army targeting the third nexus. MaxPax has nothing to deal with it. Drawn out of position, full volley. But Clem picks up and gets out. Encourages MaxPax to blast one of his own gateways into oblivion, which is probably the most damage those Ruptors did. Clem a couple steps and a medevac pickup ahead. MaxPax has 128 army supply. He's made a death ball in these disruptors here. He can win almost any heads-up fight, which means Clem will never fight him fair. We're not going to see a big open field battle unless Clem is confident he can win it. It's just going to keep darting back in because there's no 20 to 25 supply. There's no small amount of units for MaxPax that are going to hold a small amount of units from Clem. It's kind of an all-or-nothing situation, where if MaxPax doesn't commit most of his army, he'll just lose to 30 supply of bio, lose a Nexus. But if Clem does commit his whole army, he could lose. MaxPax has survived, though it doesn't feel like Clem has really gone for the killing blow here. There are 8 Vikings. MaxPax should know all about a Scandinavia of Vikings here. And their danger. But, trying to force the issue. The Viking count is so high, he needs to keep being aggressive. Liberators, another volley, staggering the Disruptors. More Interceptors being gunned down, but the Vikings have juicier targets to close in on. Just darting back. Clem back and forth. MaxPax doesn't have much time. He doesn't have much economy. He doesn't have much to follow this up. He has to rebuild the Interceptors as well. He's running out of minerals. Oh, no! Oh, he dragged the Disruptor shot back. Stalkers blink forward. Get a Viking. Vikings, a real and present danger to most of the key units here. Even on the ground, they're not so bad against the Ruptors. Takes a shot. More Vikings. Looking for more. There's nothing else on the other side. Clem can't crack this army. There's actual progress being made. MaxPax is slowly driving himself into this base. He finds a couple more Vikings. More Disruptors. The Ghost, a juicy target, gets one. Reinforcements are coming up. The Disruptors, a lot to contend with. Honestly, the Vikings alone might be enough here. He has 26 Vikings. Another volley. Oh, big hit. Center mass. Got about as much as he could from that range. Oh, here we go again. Looking for more. Clem's ground army looking more and more thin. Partially because of the Viking count and partially because the Disruptors are whittling it down. Clem is replacing most of his units with Vikings here, which is not what you usually see. But this is not a typical game or typical unit compositions. I didn't think we'd get to this point. I thought Clem might be able to put the nail in the coffin of the Danish player here, but MaxPax just killed another orbital. Clem doesn't have an unlimited amount, though he does have a significant one. Vikings from the south. Disruptors boxing out. Stalkers blinking to the side. Doing the same thing. Units struggling in the main. Clem running out of units. What is happening? He's just bleeding out. He's down 40 supply. He's abandoning his main. The buildings are floating. MaxPax is actually at... What is going on? He decides to pull back a little. EMPs. Clem, surprisingly timid. The death ball of death balls. What is happening? Another volley. Looking for the planetary. It's just a pure Viking arm. Viking planetary. That feels like a skin, not a unit composition. Or a B-rated sci-fi show. I'm not sure which one. Well, the Disruptors are blasting through. The planetary, not a well-documented counter to Disruptors. How did it come to this? MaxPax has just been... He held tight-fisted defense And now he's battering Clem down. And Clem's building Marines like this is Bronze League heroes, floating his buildings to the corner. You need to do something. The Vikings are one-shotting carriers. You know, probably could have used this earlier. I'm not sure what he was waiting for. Like, it felt like he could sacrifice a few Vikings to fight the carriers, but he was afraid of the Stalkers so much that he may very well lose this game. Upon seeing the recall, but the Stalkers are chasing some valuable goes. GG! Clem! MaxPax with the full Protoss unit. That's not supposed to work. What happened? It's all gone wrong. Wow. The death ball. It almost felt like Clem was playing with his food. Far be it from me to criticize a player with infinitely more accomplishments, MMR, and APM, but MaxPax seemed to know exactly. MaxPax took a huge risk. He went for disruptors and for carriers at the same. Like, come on, like, I don't know how old MaxPax is, but I haven't seen such a risky investment since 2008. So right now, MaxPax is up 1-. Jimmy, get to the game! Oh my god. And it was like he didn't even get the disruptor hits. Clem just needs to, at some point, you need to just punch him in the face. Like, I think at some point you gotta eat the losses. If you have 4 or 5 bases, you just gotta attack. Is he going with a double proxy at his third? So this wow. I don't. So these are 2 hidden racks. The fact it's 2 racks really throws me off here. And I have no idea. So there's only 1 gas in the main. He has to know the probe's going to scout that. The 1 gas should make MaxPax think this is just a Reaper, maybe a proxy, maybe a hidden racks. But it's actually looking like 2 racks Reaper off of a hidden double. Okay, so it's I don't think this is the first time I've seen this, but this definitely, there's a lot of mind games right now. It's unclear exactly how deep we're going with this, but I like MaxPax's response, which is to set up for a proxy Stargate, because this is the proxy war is in full swing here. The boys are pulled. A second Reaper will show up, which this will give away what Clem is doing, because that second Reaper shouldn't be here yet. But at the same time, is he just gonna? Yeah, I guess he can just go for the Stargate. Yeah, like, but now there's a Stalker, so things are escalating very quickly. Now there's 2 all the boys are down here. Everything's rallied to the front. This game, I don't think this is gonna be a long game. Okay, so the Zealot. The boys are boxing out. The Stargate itself. I love the choice to go for the Stargate itself. It actually makes a lot of sense here. Okay. So he kills the Stargate, but he did pull a whole lot of his SCVs. Meanwhile, MaxPax, he doesn't have an expansion. There are units all over the place. So, I'm not sure what? The Reaper is trying to body block the Stalker with it, which is like 3 times its size, but it is Clem's Reaper. It will kill the Stalker. And here we are, and MaxPax undeterred. Well, he actually built a Stargate in his main, but just as a matter of principle, still has a proxy pylon out on the map, which is... Meanwhile, another probe scouted the double hidden racks. The Reaper... Now, if you just didn't look at the timer, it would almost look like a normal game right now. Besides the fact there are multiple buildings floating back to Clem's base, but the Reaper coming in, spotting the Stargate, Stalker gonna try to get rid of it, but never mind. It looks like we're gonna even out somehow. The shield battery putting in a lot of work here. Meanwhile, and things go sideways again. Going straight. The Oracle, the Cyclone, targeting the only pylon that is building. Well, Warp Gate is done, but there are no Warp Gates, so that kind of defeats the whole purpose. That was the only gateway. And now the Stalker is microing back. Meanwhile, there's a probe in the main. Just, okay. In other news, Clem pushing in multiple Cyclones. Dancing back and forth here is MaxPax. He tried to expand. The probe in the main, is he... Okay, he's just hanging out. I'm not sure if that'll be relevant in any way. The Stalker's trying to micro back, but he doesn't have any gateways. He's now proxying... Wait, no. He's building the Dark Shrine in his main and proxying a gateway, which will be his only gate. The probe watches. And it fills you with determination. 3 Cyclones! That is a lot to deal with, especially if they both lock on. Down goes the Nexus. Clem has his own. The probe will be slaughtered, and with it, hope. So, all that's left are the Desperation Templar. Yeah, well, that was an optimistic pylon. At this point, I think Clem's just gonna... This game might end with Clem killing all of MaxPax's buildings before MaxPax realizes it. That's the way it's going. He's killed a Stargate, like a Nexus, half a dozen pylons, a Cybercore, and Well, it's down to literally DTs, and that's about it. Oh, from downtown, the Cyclones snipe off the Void Ray. The Oracle actually microing onto the Cyclone. The Cyclone running out of real estate. The Cyclone taken down. The Marines shoot the other Cyclone in solidarity. I'll repair it. DT's off the 1.5... Oh, I guess he has 2 gates. Okay, so... There's enough energy for a scan. He goes for DT Blink. Clem has to see that. Oh my god, the Marine! The Marine! He knows. The Marine blocked him. He saw it. But the Marine was stepping right on top of the depot. You should be able to just raise the depot, and it kills the Marine by throwing him up into the sky, and they fall down and break all of their bones. Meanwhile, Stim will finish, which is big for Clem here. Though, not that he should be using it, because... Oh, well, medevacs are out. The Oracle is in the main where there's a turret, because that's kind of your fault, MaxPax. Meanwhile, more DTs. GG! All tied up. It's over. Okay. Well. Okay. Yeah, match point. Let's jump right in. Save your likes and your subscribes. There's no time. Who knows what's going to happen at the start of this match? I mean, some of you, but the fact that we're 10 whole seconds in and there isn't a probe out on the map is disappointing to me. Will Clem build a barracks in his very own base? Will MaxPax not be confused by... Well, I do like the response. So, MaxPax scouted there wasn't a barracks in the base. He's like, proxy Stargate then. Though, I think there's about a 50-50 chance that the original plan was proxy Stargate. And then he scouted, and then he's like, yes, now the plan continues to be proxy Stargate. It's not unlikely. Clem, this time one barracks at his natural, so the most easily scouted, but the closest to his main. MaxPax, at some point, the real meta play will be to just scout everywhere but Clem's main. But it'll come up the ramp, he'll look for the gas, and then he may go looking for Rex. Check the corners, of course. Doors and corners, that's where they get you. And he's gonna scout it immediately, he knows. Alright, well, hello there.
Hello there.
Not this time. Oh, the probe! Ah! The probe! SCV hunting. Oh, and the Marine finishes him. Oh, no. Overstayed his welcome.
We got him.
But otherwise, it looks like they won't have anything with which to stab a pencil into the opponent's eye, at least for a couple minutes. We will see. Reactor, he didn't even bother bringing it back to the main. He's confident. He just slapped a reactor at the natural. I mean, it still works the same. Ain't nobody got time for whatever protocol you're supposed to have. No, the natural should be defended. And if he didn't slap that reactor on, he would not have had 3 Marines. And this Stalker would be immensely more annoying than it already is. In fact... Oh. What a save! Ooh. That, like, 10 seconds he saved, maybe 15, by not floating the racks back to the main, may have saved the entire early game there. Because MaxPax was rushing that Stalker across. There's Blink on... It's shaping up... Wait, is that a tech club? Oh, that's his second Rex. So the tech lab joining the reactor. A bio push on the horizon. Is he gonna build a Raven? I mean, the Raven, safe call, especially if you're someone like Clem who won't just lose it to the first 3 Stalkers who happen to exist. Not that I'm speaking for anyone, but I've heard that's something that happens to Ravens for some people. It's perfectly natural, okay? It happens. I've heard. Meanwhile, Marines hunt down the Adept. And the Adept does not adept in time. Gunned down outside the natural. Reporting back that yes, there are Marines, and MaxPax not surprised by this information. A Marine chasing down a probe. His brother. Still sent out to scout. His whole family scouting probes. But this one never ventured far from the Nexus. And the first time he did, the Marine hunted for him. It got a taste of probe and it wanted more. Moving on, Blink is done. But there is a tank finishing as well as a Raven. So Clem is well established. Meanwhile, though, MaxPax not struggling much on the other side. No, this is the 1 worker kill on each side. That is the total. So they will be able to go about their business somewhat for at least 5 minutes here, which is the first time that's happened. It's going to be a brute force gateway man build. We have charge following up blink, so I would expect to see not 1, not 2, but like 4 more gateways at this stage. For a total of probably around at least 6, if not 8. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Because the best defense will be a good offense, and a whole lot, even more importantly, the best defense will be a whole lot of charge lots. Ideally so many that Clem cannot get the critical mass of bio to deal with them. The Raven is a bit of a kicker, and this one is actually slipping around the back. He's not going to use it as part of the army, or at least not to start, but instead going to try to kill some probes. And MaxPax, honestly, MaxPax, much like Zest, only has a on-again, off-again relationship with probe production. Okay, neither of them are really going steady with a macro game, if you would. They like to play the field before they decide to settle down and build probes. But that's okay. We can't all be Showtime. The not space, just regular shark. Though it appears that why have the Zerg not infested the shark? Because it looks like there's a lot of Zerg action going on, but the shark rises above. In important news that everyone needed to know about. This is your Shark Week update on 2,000 atmospheres. Meanwhile, okay, so there's a warp prism with charge lots over to the right side. Clem slipped around behind. Oh, the sandwich! The MaxPax sandwich! Oh, well, I hate when that happens to my sandwiches, too. You know, you put a little bit too much, and then it all falls out the side. Well, you got some of it, but now you've got some cleanup to do over here. For a Frenchman, his sandwich crafting could use a little bit of work. A few stalkers, and MaxPax did end up recalling out. So, Clem now with solid army, but honestly, oh, the Raven, full energy. He wants the, he may have showed his hand a little early. Like, anti-armor missile, no! Oh, I mean, anti-armor missile on the stalkers, which makes them die in 1 shot instead of 2 shots, which is how it feels. Yeah, he showed his hand a little early, but suddenly, action! Butchery on both sides. Meanwhile, Clem pushing into the third. Shield battery overcharge is online if he needs it. Force fields will delay the attack. A dozen charge lots warped into the main, slashing through a bunch of the SCVs, but the bio army behind will get the better of the charge lots. There's 1 charge lot just chilling. Meanwhile, the attack continues forward. MaxPax did solid economic damage, but now he needs to hold the line back at home, or he'll get dealt it in turn. He held on to the shield battery overcharge, doing a great job of waiting until he could actually break the army. The sentries on the front line, not the best fighting units, but it's what he has. He loses all of them. No more Guardian Shield. The first wave of the attack is inconclusive. 18 SCVs have been killed. The Warp Prism has been gunned down. And with it, Clem is up 12 supply, which means his army supply is significantly higher than the Danish Protoss. But MaxPax does have shield batteries. He does have Colossi. He does have Blink Stalkers. What doesn't he have? Well, he doesn't have more army supply, so that's the real concern here. I felt like there should be something to balance it out. We will see. It's kind of a similar, though not the same position to Game 1. MaxPax still very much has the ability to move out on the map. He has to be a little careful about it, but Clem doesn't have that overwhelming supply quite yet. And that's because MaxPax got the Warp Prism into the main. And the Warp Prism in the main, a classic tried and true tactic to delay and deter and destroy Terran players. Clem dealt with it, but he did take some damage. Let's look at the income. Well, mules exist, so let's turn that off. I don't MaxPax does have 67 probes. We already talked about his flirtatious nature with probe production. It is not an overwhelming economy, and he can't really afford to make a whole lot of high-tech units alongside mass production of things like zealots. This army is not... Those stalkers... Well, they are blink stalkers. I don't know. Losing any is not worth. How many colossi now? 3. Couple zealots. The zealots getting very close, but not quite into the mineral line. Clem is moving most of his army around towards the 4th base of MaxPax. If he can break this, then that should be the stepping stone to potentially end the match. Yeah, the charge launch cleaned up. They did get 4 SCVs, but that means Clem actually has an insane amount of army supply for this stage. He's got 140 army supply at 11 minutes. He's maxed out effectively, and he's bringing it to bear, but the shield battery overcharge over the top. The charge lots cut down the siege tank, and there's nothing left to really contest the colossi in this defensive position. So he's going to try to go around the scan, looking for observers. He's got ghosts over to the right flank, the main brunt of the bio army. Divide and conquer will be the order of the day, but the medevacs are spotted by the spotting pylons on the left side. MaxPax understands the map can be dark and full of Terrans, and he knows that those Terrans need something else to look at, like their SCVs being slaughtered in the natural. Into the main. Stalkers blink away. Not enough to deal with this. Disruptor shot. Center mass hits everything it could. But the siege tanks are one of the few units that actually survive. The Vikings closing the distance. The Stalkers out of position. Chasing down the medevacs. MaxPax looking the other way. Clem losing the SCVs in the natural. 16 more down. He's under 50, but Clem is also closing in the 3rd. Disruptor, look at the wrong way. Not as close to the action as it needed to be. The Colossus count down to 1.1, but that second Colossus saved by shield battery overcharge. More charge lots at the natural. Finally, slowly, surely being cleaned up. Meanwhile, the 3rd base, that 1 or 2 Marines that survived in those medevacs, and some mines are coming up as well. There is an armory done. He does need detection to get rid of those. Otherwise, they're going to slam the point home. MaxPax gets out of this with slightly more supply, and that is being slightly compounded by... When did he get DTs? But there are definitely Dark Templar. The Warp Prism gets out. 30 SCVs, still 2 Whittle Mines. At MaxPax's 4th. Supplies are dead even. Worker count's not quite. Well, that's not going to help. Vikings get a Colossus, but Stalkers get a couple medevacs. I think, actually, Clem gets the better of that exchange. He picks up the 2nd Colossus as well. Full retreat. There's no real detection here. Observers are desperately needed. DT blink on the way. The Warp Prism lift. We just fire a Yep. Well, here we go with this. Be careful with that thing. A little bit of chemotherapy style in the mineral line. This'll hurt them more than you. Well, I sure hope so. Winter, did you just relate Widow Mines to cancer? And happy about it. Meaning, moving on. Clem with a little more army supply, but it hasn't really translated into a decisive victory so far. Oh no. Well, any amount of disruptors down is going to be a weight off his back. Whoa. It must have been on the hotkey, but in the wrong spot. This army looking pretty squishy here. What is the siege tank count? There are 3 tanks with this army. Enough to potentially target Ruptors. A single charge lot, and a couple more in the 3rd. Anything to make Clem look the other way and potentially damage his economy. A DT is warped in. He scanned because he doesn't want to EMP his own medevacs. Oh, a single tank. More tanks sieging. Fires a volley. Huge hits. Doesn't finish off the tanks. Charge lots and DTs in the main. That saved Prism. Another shot. Hits the front, but the disruptors wander into the fight in all the damage they've done. Almost negated there, as he's now lost those incredibly key units. There's still 3 tanks on the back line. Both players stretch to the limit and then some. Who will break first? 142 supply for both. The Warp Prism, there's still a DT in the main. Finally, he finds a scan. Scans are stretched between the attack. Well, there's still some EMP. Shield battery overcharge, buying some time. The medevacs are almost out of energy. The tanks still shelling, but that charge lock count is looking a little too high. And Clem should, well, he has to pick up and get out. But he does. He actually, oh, the disruptors! Where are you going? You need those. Oh, MaxPax has been very diligent. But just one slip, and he lost most of his splash damage. He can't afford that again. Clem is on the ropes. But he's not dead yet. Another couple Ruptors up to the high ground. Air ball. MaxPax sharking around with the classic Blink Stalker Disruptor composition. The orbital itself is under attack. The SCVs, no hope of repair. They'll evacuate. Down it goes. And with it, the ability to scan. DT Blink is done. It's +3 attack for MaxPax, +2, +1 for Clem. I think that kind of describes the unit compositions well enough here. Meanwhile, I believe that was a recall from MaxPax. I don't know if he recalled where Clem could see him, but he does have his units in position. He doesn't see Clem right outside his fort, but by process of elimination, he knows he's close. But is he too close? The Disruptors, 1 down, 2, looking for 3, another couple more around the Nexus, but they're too late to do anything. And without any Disruptor shots, the Bio Army gets a full concave. It's too much, and the Nexus falls. Clem already scanned down to the bottom right and saw there was no Nexus there, so he knows that MaxPax is down to overused and almost exhausted mineral patches. 1 Disruptor and a Dream is all that's left with this fragile army. The Liberators are gonna zone out the target fire with EMP and just Stalkers remain. There's nothing left to fight this heads up. The Zealots are evaporating. The upgrades are good enough. The medevacs are out of energy, but they've done their job. There's... what is happening over here? A DT. Orbitals flying. Dark Templar. Not gonna turn the tides here. Not at this rate. Clem has dug through the Disruptor army and uncovered a path to victory. He's diving into the main. The Liberators are caught out. There's 1 Disruptor. Clem can dodge that. Is there even any point in defending your Oh my god, watch out! Whoa! But he doesn't! He was looking the other way! And just like that, the supplies are even again. Oh, 1 job! 1 job! He may still lose his main, but the DTs all over the place. The DTs are just fighting! The amount of scans, he's running out of scans. Oh, there are still EMPs which can be used to detect the DTs. They are a dangerous problem. Oh my god, he tries to dodge. He wants him to EMP his own medevacs, but the medevacs are already out of energy. Oh, that DT. Oh, it slips into the main. MaxPax still struggling. He just holds position. Clem wasn't paying attention. And somehow, it's not over. There are still Disruptors and Blink Stalkers and Dark Templar. Oh, I'm not locked in here with you. The tank! Oh, MaxPax! Oh no, 1 DT! Gets so much more done. Meanwhile, another shot on the left side. Didn't get all of the army. I think got a Viking that was landed. Oh, that is a risky recall. Oh no. He fires a Disruptor shot. It hits only probes. Oh. But Clem, watch out! Oh no! And just when you think MaxPax is out, he drags Clem back in. Clem looking at this DT. Zeratul in the main. Finally. Wait. Clem he was hunting that 1 DT in the main, and every second he looks away. MaxPax broadside with the Disruptor. There's still the DTs and the Disruptors, the 2 Ds of danger. There's how many orbitals? There are 3 orbitals. Almost every scan being used. He gets out on both sides. The scan chases down one. The other 2 escape to the left. The worker count, though, is pretty devastating. I don't think he doesn't have a blank. He uses another scan. Clem is consolidating. The cyber core must be rebuilt. Otherwise, he can't build stalkers, which are actually very important in this unit composition. The Liberator looking for an opportunity. MaxPax forced to remake probes. He's down to 24. That Liberator looking to reduce the number. Some of the probes killed by disruptors. Looking for more. The stalkers. Actually a little late to the party. Clem. Oh no! The rep! Okay, he notices. What a save. Another shot. One very unlucky Marine. A scan at the natural. There's a DT. It blinks to the side. They're microing both fronts. The DT does get cleaned up. Are there any other Dark Templar? The snipes on the Zealots, of all things. I don't think there are any other DTs. Shield battery overcharge. Clem's army supply is almost a disruptor hit. A particularly bad disruptor hit ahead. You'll be hard-pressed to close a 40 supply gap even with a disruptor hit. He really needs to have the money shot. Or 3 here. He's already gotten more than you would ever deserve. Oh, Clem, with all his attention brought to bear, does not respect your disruptors. He does not respect your stalkers. He does not respect your zealots. And he does not respect your chances of winning this series. He's tearing through everything left. The disruptors have no more space to zone. The Nexus itself is being ripped apart. The disruptors don't know where to shoot. Clem knows where. He comes in all sides. Target fire is good. And Clem closes the distance and takes it 2-1. You can tell the Clem. That's why it's so critical. The DTs. If Clem is able to bring 100% of his micro to bear, well, that doesn't seem very fair. What a series. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my commentary. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, and check out more. We have a whole playlist of them. I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.